Chapter 41. You are listening at novelfull.audio. We've suppressed the Nine Tails. Another masked guy with a white beard, that the moment he appeared, both the masked man, Obito Uchiha, and the fourth Hokage, Minato Namikaze, felt their pupils shrink and a wave of shock wash over them. This was unbelievable. Neither of them expected the Nine Tails to be subdued so easily. Looking at the weakened state of the Nine Tails, both Obito Uchiha and Minato Namikaze focused their gaze on the Uchiha, the one wearing the white-bearded mask. Minato, you're finally here. Seeing the sudden arrival of the fourth Hokage, Minato Namikaze, Sarutobi, the third Hokage, felt his anxiety ease. He flashed next to Minato, his face grim. This mysterious, white-bearded masked guy helped Konoha Village subdue the Nine Tails. Really? Minato Namikaze's voice was sharp with anger. This mysterious masked person with the swirling pattern attacked me during Kushina's childbirth and summoned the Nine Tails. This. Hearing that, Sarutobi frowned. He glanced at Uchiha Ryunin, then at Obito Uchiha, as if trying to see if there was a connection. After all, one had summoned the Nine Tails, and the other had suppressed it, and both wore masks. If their masks and outfits weren't different, Sarutobi might think they were from the same group. Wait, he has a Mangekyo Sharingan. The next moment, as if remembering something, Minato Namikaze pointed at Obito Uchiha and exclaimed, his Mangekyo Sharingan controlled the Nine Tails. Mangekyo Sharingan, you mean someone from the Uchiha Clan? Sarutobi said instinctively. No, not from the Uchiha Clan in Konoha. Minato Namikaze took a deep breath, shaking his head with certainty. The Uchiha Clan in Konoha definitely doesn't have anyone this powerful. I guess that's true. Sarutobi seemed to acknowledge that the Konoha Uchiha Clan didn't have anyone of that caliber, and said with irritation, what's Konoha Village going to do now? Hold on. Now that he knew the two mysterious people weren't working together, the fourth Hokage, Minato Namikaze, decided to wait and see. Meanwhile, Obito Uchiha was in turmoil. After summoning the Nine Tails, he'd been doing his best to keep the fourth Hokage, Minato Namikaze, busy, hoping to let the Nine Tails wreak havoc on Konoha Village. But what happened? A mysterious masked man appeared. It was like the praying mantis stalking the cicada, unaware of the Oreo behind. Actually, it wasn't just Obito Uchiha who was baffled. Even Black Zetsu, lurking in the shadows, was confused and incredulous. Uchiha Ryunin, wearing the white-bearded mask, was completely off their radar. What's more, the Nine Tails had been subdued so easily, implying the newcomer's immense power. Wait, could it be? The next moment, Black Zetsu seemed to realize something, and his eyes clouded over. If he remembered correctly, his mother, Kagaya Otsutsuki, had once said that the Otsutsuki clan were all monsters, and the guy in front of him was likely one of them. Otherwise, he couldn't have suppressed the Nine Tails. As for why he'd suppressed the Nine Tails, it was obvious. To recover the tailed beast chakra from the Jinchuriki and replant the divine tree. Who are you? Finally, Obito Uchiha couldn't contain himself. He glared at Uchiha Ryunin standing on the Nine Tails' head and said coldly. You can call me Madara Uchiha. Uchiha Ryunin, holding Kusanagi, replied casually. You're Madara Uchiha. Obito's mouth twitched, and he fought the urge to scream. Was this a joke? If he was Madara Uchiha, then who was he? And who was the late, great Madara Uchiha? I'm Madara Uchiha. After a shift in expression, Obito Uchiha said coldly, I don't care who you are. Get out of here, or you'll face the consequences. Oh, Uchiha Ryunin didn't budge. If you don't believe me, fine. He turned his gaze to the Konoha ninjas, including Sarutobi Hiruzen, and asked lightly, do you believe I'm Madara Uchiha? If you don't, Konoha Village will pay the price. Suddenly, the third Hokage, Sarutobi Hiruzen, the fourth Hokage, Minato Namikaze, and the Konoha ninja who had evacuated all looked doubtful. Both mysterious people claimed to be Madara Uchiha. What was going on? After all, Madara Uchiha was a legendary ninja, a man who could stand shoulder to shoulder with the first Hokage, Hashirama Senju. I believe you're Madara Uchiha. A few seconds later, although Sarutobi knew that neither person was truly Madara Uchiha, he took a deep breath and said, I've seen the power of Madara Uchiha. If you can control the nine tails like that, then you are Madara Uchiha. Chapter 42. You are listening at novelfull.audio. No doubt about it, Sarutobi Hiruzen, the third Hokage, was practically fawning over the masked Uchiha with the white beard. Just kidding, Hiruzen would sooner die than believe Madara Uchiha was still alive. After all, he saw Madara's corpse with his own eyes back in the day, so, with these two mysterious guys both claiming to be Madara Uchiha, Hiruzen would much rather butter up Uchiha Ryunin, the one who helped Konoha suppress the nine tails. You say you're Madara? Okay, you're Madara, basically. He was just saying whatever made the situation easier, alright. Hiruzen was already envisioning how he'd recruit the masked Uchiha. Listening to Hiruzen's words, Minato Namikaze, the fourth Hokage, was surprised. He'd never heard the third Hokage praise someone so lavishly, even if it meant calling a cat a dog. Is that really Madara Uchiha? The Konoha ninja who evacuated earlier were shocked as they looked at Ryunin. That's Madara Uchiha? No wonder suppressing the nine tails was so easy. Hey! In mid-air, the masked Obito Uchiha was getting seriously annoyed. He was supposed to be the star of the nine tails rampage. He was supposed to be the one controlling the beast, wreaking havoc on Konoha. Why was this masked weirdo stealing his thunder? Was this bullying? Just as Obito was about to blow a gasket, Ryunin, wearing the white beard, turned to Hiruzen and said sarcastically, the way you brown nose is seriously pathetic. Silence, absolute silence. The sudden shift was stunning. Every Konoha ninja was taken aback. No way, everything pointed to this masked guy being on Konoha's side, especially since he helped suppress the nine tails, and now this? Countless ninja were ready to draw weapons. After all that flattery from the third Hokage, the masked man just slapped him in the face, and called him a brown-noser. Well then, Hiruzen's face went dark. He'd been played, made a fool of in public. How boring. Ryunin glanced at Hiruzen with disdain. Then, he looked at the nine tails, still struggling, and said, I just smacked you around a bit, and your illusion's already broken. Go on, destroy everything. Humph. The nine tails glared at Ryunin, the giant fox snorting. He wasn't stupid. Uncle Ben wasn't falling for that again. If he went wild, he'd just get beaten up again. Not happening. Hurry it up, Ryunin said. Seeing the nine tails hesitate, Ryunin sneered, if you don't go wild, I'll handle you myself. Whoosh! With a burst of speed, Ryunin vanished before anyone could react. All that was left was a confused nine tails, a puzzled Obito, an angry Hiruzen, and a bunch of Konoha ninja. They'd thought the masked guy was on their side, but it turned out he was even more dangerous than the masked man causing the trouble. Damn it! Minato was about to chase after him, but stopped. The nine tails and Obito were still there. He couldn't leave without permission. Roar! Finally realizing that the person suppressing him was really gone, the nine tails erupted in a terrifying surge of chakra. His eyes gleamed, and his tails wagged. I'm finally free. Boom. Boom. Overjoyed, the nine tails rose to his feet. He gathered a massive amount of chakra and unleashed an incredibly destructive tailed beast bomb at Konoha. Damn it. Facing the nine tails, Minato glanced at Obito, who remained motionless, gritted his teeth, and flew into action. In full view, the tailed beast bomb struck Minato's flying thunder god kunai and vanished. A second later, a deafening explosion echoed outside Konoha. Minato had teleported the tailed beast bomb away using his flying thunder god technique. Keep it coming. Whoosh! Whoosh! Seeing his attack diverted, the nine tails didn't care. He fired 4 more tailed beast bombs in rapid succession, bombarding Konoha from all directions. Minato, it's up to you. Seeing this, Hiruzen's expression changed. If you don't stop this rampaging nine tails, Konoha will be destroyed. As Hokage, you must act. I know what I have to do. Minato's eyes flashed with resolve. He would uphold the will of fire and sacrifice his small family to protect Konoha's everyone. Chapter 43. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I know what I have to do. Hearing this, the eyes of the fourth Hokage, Minato Namikaze, flashed with resolve. He was embodying the true will of fire, choosing to sacrifice his little family for the sake of everyone in Konoha Village. Really, Minato just needed to think about it for a second to realize that Hiruzen Sarutobi, the third Hokage, was starting to pull back and show his fear of death. Besides, both he and Sarutobi had held the title of Hokage. Minato was still so young. According to the true will of fire, it should be Hiruzen who made the ultimate sacrifice. Whoosh, star. Now that he had a plan, Minato didn't hesitate. He gazed at the four-tailed beast bombs radiating terrifying power, took a deep breath, and instantly teleported in front of one with his flying thunder god kunai, whisking the nine-tailed beast bomb away, and that was just the beginning. Swish. 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 Star. 3 more bursts of air followed in quick succession. The other three-tailed beast bombs were also warped away by Minato's flying thunder god. Rumble. Boom. Star. A second later, for earth-shattering explosions rocked the area outside Konoha Village. The shockwaves shook the village violently. Roar. Seeing his tailed beast bomb attacks diverted, the nine tails roared furiously, his tails thrashing wildly as he began gathering chakra again. He refused to believe that this guy could keep deflecting his attacks forever. This can't go on. Facing the increasingly berserk nine tails, Minato acted fast, quickly forming hand seals. Summoning jutsu, bang, star. A huge toad came crashing down from the sky, pinning the nine tails to the ground before the beast could even react. Minato, hurry. I can't hold him for long. Got it. Whoosh. Minato flashed into action, positioning himself on the head of Gamabunta, the toad boss. He swiftly activated the Flying Thunder God technique, teleporting Gamabunta and the Nine Tails to a deserted clearing outside the village. The Nine Tails has been moved. We have to go help Lord Fourth Hokage. Let's go. Step on it, guys. Seeing this, many Konoha ninjas, who had been evacuating, hesitated for a moment, but then their faces hardened with determination. Are you kidding me? The fourth Hokage was out there fighting for the village. They couldn't back down now, but then, a glint of coldness flashed in Hiruzen Sarutobi's eyes as he clenched his fists. He gave a sharp order, with your strength, going out there would be suicide. Everyone listen up. Prioritize the evacuation of the civilians and younger ninjas who haven't been moved yet. Leave the Nine Tails to the fourth Hokage. We have to believe in him. He can handle it. Yes, Lord Third Hokage. Hearing this, the ninjas faltered, then reluctantly nodded. What else could they say? The third Hokage had given the order. They had to obey. Besides, there was no way the third Hokage would intentionally put the fourth Hokage in danger. High above, Obito Uchiha, the masked man who had been silently observing the battle, sneered behind his mask at Sarutobi's hypocrisy. He used to think inheriting the will of fire was a noble cause, but now it seemed like a joke. I'll find you. The masked man, Uchiha Obito, decided he had no reason to stay in Konoha any longer. He wanted to go back and figure out the identity of the mysterious white-masked individual. Swish, star. With a ripple in the air, Obito Uchiha vanished. The two mysterious figures are gone. After Obito left, Hiruzen Sarutobi's expression changed for a moment before he muttered to himself, I have to reclaim my position and lead the reconstruction of Konoha. With that thought, Hiruzen Sarutobi cast another thoughtful glance at the ravaged village. Meanwhile, in the Uchiha district, from a distance, all the Uchiha clan members were gathered together. Almost everyone wore an expression of anger, except for Shisui Uchiha. After the Nine Tails rampage, the Konoha military police force under the Uchiha clan's control was preparing to mobilize, but, Danzo Shimura, a high-ranking member of Konoha, along with the Root Ninjas, forcibly intercepted the Konoha military police force and ordered the Uchiha clan members not to leave the Uchiha district tonight. The reason? Unbelievably, they suspected that the Sharingan was controlling the Nine Tails. Understandably, this accusation was outrageous and infuriated the Uchiha clan. However, in the face of Danzo's blatant control, and after learning of the order issued by the Third Hokage, they had no choice but to comply, so, the Uchiha clan members were confined to their district, forced to listen to the distant sounds of destruction. Danzo, two mysterious figures have appeared in Konoha, and the fourth Hokage has transferred the Nine Tails away. Can't we Uchiha members even go out now? Fugaku Uchiha landed from a rooftop and confronted Danzo Shimura, who was blocking the entrance. No. Danzo shook his head grimly, making it clear that he was going to keep the Uchiha clan under lockdown. Damn it. Still won't let us out. Aren't we Uchiha clan members of Konoha? What are the higher-ups implying? Do they really suspect that we're secretly orchestrating things? Hearing Danzo's words, almost all the Uchiha clan members present were enraged. You. Fugaku Uchiha was about to explode, but Shisui Uchiha, who had remained silent until now, saw this and called out inwardly. With a reassuring expression he said, "We have to trust the higher-ups in Konoha." Good. Fugaku Uchiha glanced at Shisui, then at Itachi Uchiha holding Sasuke Uchiha in the distance. He raised his hand and signaled the clan to be quiet. P.S. Please consider donating, adding to your collection, leaving flowers, and writing reviews. It all helps me keep writing. Thank you. Enjoy reading every Friday. Top up $100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Click to claim your benefits immediately. Event runs from April 29th to May 3rd. Chapter 44. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ha! Don't even bother letting the Uchiha step in, forget it. Seeing Fugaku Uchiha's signal, most of the Uchiha ninjas fell silent, but a few still made sounds of disapproval. Danzo Shimura ignored it, keeping the root ninjas positioned in front of the Uchiha compound. At this point, Danzo realized the masked man with the swirling pattern wanted to cooperate with him. So, he wants to use me to weaken the Uchiha. That the only thing puzzling Danzo was the masked man himself. Who was he? Heh, so that's the play. Leonian Uchiha, standing behind Fugaku, drawled lazily. Earlier, when leaving the Uchiha compound, Leonian had left a shadow clone, so nobody realized he'd been out suppressing the Nine Tails and returned. No wonder neither the Uchiha nor the root ninjas appeared during the Nine Tails attack in the original story. Looking at Danzo in the distance, Leonian felt disgusted. Honestly, the Nine Tails was powerful, but the Konoha leadership, motivated by their own interests, wasted manpower by having Danzo and the root monitor the Uchiha instead of helping defend the village. Sarutobi's a real snake, sitting back and letting this happen. Leonian frowned, a look of disdain on his face. He remembered that in the original timeline, the third Hokage, Sarutobi, initially confronted the Nine Tails, using the ape summon to push it away from Konoha. Now, thanks to the masked man's interference, the Nine Tails was even more enraged. So, even if the Uchiha left the battlefield, it was clear Sarutobi would back down at the critical moment, letting Minato Namikaze, the fourth Hokage, deal with the rampaging Nine Tails. And the reason? The Hokage position. Of course, after all, the Nine Tails attack would inflict heavy losses on Konoha, and the fourth Hokage would be blamed. Sarutobi would then have a perfect excuse to reclaim his position as Hokage, and that's exactly what happened. After Minato Namikaze transported the furious Nine Tails to a remote clearing outside Konoha, he used the Flying Thunder God technique to bring Kushina along. Minato, I can't hold on much longer. With the Nine Tails extracted, Kushina, as the Jinchuriki, could feel her life force draining, despite her Uzumaki clan's unique vitality. Wah! Maybe sensing something, Naruto, in Kushina's arms, suddenly burst into tears. I'm sorry. Looking at Kushina and then at Naruto, Minato said with a pained expression, as Hokage, I have to. I've got your back. Kushina interrupted Minato, her face pale. All I care about now is Naruto, our son. Don't worry, Minato said firmly, the third Hokage will take good care of him. Okay. Kushina slowly stood up and unleashed the Uzumaki clan's secret technique, the adamantine sealing chains, multiple chakra chains extending from her back, binding the Nine Tails, who was still gathering chakra. Roar! Under the golden chains, the nine-tails struggled uselessly, reduced to bared teeth and impotent roars, pitiful. So pathetic. For a moment, the nine-tails felt helpless. It thought it was finally free, but now it was being sealed again. This really sucked. The rest unfolded pretty much like in the original story. Minato sealed the Yin chakra of the nine-tails into the Reaper Death Seal, taking it with him to the afterlife, and the Yang chakra into the newborn Naruto with the 8 trigram sealing style. At the same time, he also sealed remnants of his and Kushina's chakra into Naruto's body, after leaving final words for Naruto, the 4th Hokage, Minato Namikaze, and the nine-tails Jinchuriki, Kushina, both died, and ironically, whether by chance or not, after their deaths, the 3rd Hokage, Sarutobi, arrived with the Konoha ninjas. 3rd Hokage, a ninja said sadly to Sarutobi after surveying the scene, the 4th Hokage and Kushina are gone. There's only a baby left, looks like the 4th Hokage's son. Ah. Sarutobi sighed, let's take care of their bodies. He then picked up the crying Naruto, and when he saw the 8 trigram seal on his stomach, he frowned. Am I wrong? Then his expression relaxed. I'm doing this for Konoha. There's nothing wrong with that, he said to himself. The thought seemed to occur to Sarutobi, and he muttered, to protect your growth, I'll treat you well. But as a Jinchuriki, you'll have to bear some pressure and ridicule that ordinary people can't. From now on, Naruto Uzumaki, you're an orphan. P.S. Tips, collections, reviews, will help me get started, thank you. Chapter 45. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Year 48 in Konoha, the nine-tails attack devastated Konoha, resulting in immense losses. The news of the heroic sacrifice of the 4th Hokage, Minato Namikaze, and his wife, Kushina Uzumaki, spread like wildfire throughout the ninja world, shocking everyone. No one could believe that Konoha, the leading village, had suffered such a blow, and that the 4th Hokage, Minato Namikaze, and Kushina were dead. After all, this was the Yellow Flash, who made such a name for himself in the Third Great Ninja War. Unbelievable. Minato Namikaze is dead. Does this mean Konoha has weakened? After the initial shock, a quiet celebration spread through the other villages. The more high-level ninja Konoha lost, the better. This incident increased the tension already present throughout the ninja world. In Konoha, after the nine-tails attack, the village lay in ruins. Civilians emerged from shelters to find their homes destroyed, replaced by sadness and anger. Upon learning of the 4th Hokage, Minato Namikaze, and his wife, Kushina Uzumaki's heroic deaths, countless civilians and Konoha ninja alike harbored immense hatred toward the nine-tails. Eager to tear it apart limb from limb, Konoha was the most prosperous village after the Third Great Ninja War. The nine-tails attack halted Konoha's rapid development and weakened its overall strength significantly. If not for the 3rd Hokage, Hiruzen Sarutobi, still able to lead, the other 4 villages, Kirigakure, Iwagakure, Kumogakure, and Sunagakure, would likely attack Konoha while it was vulnerable. Even so, Konoha's future looked bleak. With the entire ninja world on edge, to supposedly protect Naruto Uzumaki, the Konoha leadership concealed that Naruto was the 4th Hokage's son, and instead announced that he was the new nine-tails Jinchuriki. In essence, the demon fox they hated now resided within Naruto. In a conference room on the top floor of the Hokage building, Konoha's leaders, Hiruzen Sarutobi, Danzo Shimura, Koharu Utatane, Hamura Mitokado, and the clan heads of the Uchiha, Akimichi, Nara, Yamanaka, and Hyuga, gathered. Konoha suffered immense losses. Besides the 4th Hokage and his wife, many jonin, chunin, and civilians died in the nine-tails attack, Koharu said grimly. The Land of Fire's government demands an explanation. If it weren't for that masked man, the 4th Hokage might still be alive. Hamura Mitokado added coldly, a hint of anger on his face. In his opinion, the masked man was responsible for the tragedy. Otherwise, Minato Namikaze would have been able to seal the nine-tails without sacrificing himself. However, Hamura Mitokado did not realize that Minato would never choose to live if it meant Kushina would die. Minato was a dedicated Hokage and husband. His only mistake was trusting Hiruzen too much, assuming he would take good care of Naruto. Many Konoha ninja saw that the masked man possessed the Mangekyo Sharingan, which he used to control the Nine Tails. Danzo Shimura, who had been silently observing, sneered and turned to Fugaku Uchiha, saying, "The Uchiha clan should provide an explanation." An explanation? Fugaku Uchiha frowned and replied firmly, "The Uchiha clan has no involvement." "Really?" Danzo Shimura pressed aggressively, "Who knows what secrets you Uchiha clan are hiding?" Danzo Shimura. Bang! Fugaku Uchiha slammed the table, furious that Danzo was trying to place blame on the Uchiha clan. If the Uchiha clan was responsible, provide proof. Otherwise. Enough. Just as Fugaku Uchiha was about to lash out, the third Hokage, Hiruzen Sarutobi, gently placed his pipe on the table, interrupting him. "The Uchiha clan is only under suspicion. There is no need to get so worked up." "Understood, Lord Hokage." Fugaku Uchiha looked displeased, sitting back down. The Uchiha were innocent, and constantly under surveillance. Yet Danzo insisted on blaming them. This was too much. Besides the masked man, there was also a man with a white mask. Neither of them are ones to let slide. Therefore, I don't think it's necessary to choose the fifth Hokage. The third Hokage, Hiruzen Sarutobi, picked up his pipe and said seriously, "I'm willing to step up during Konoha's time of need and guide the village out of this crisis." "What do you think?" Silence. Complete silence. The room fell silent. Even Danzo Shimura, along with Koharu Uchiha and Hamura Mitokado, was taken aback. They didn't expect Hiruzen to want to reclaim the Hokage position so soon after Minato's death. "I agree." After a few seconds, Koharu Uchiha frowned and hesitantly nodded. "Given Konoha's current situation, I believe it's best for the third Hokage to return." "Agreed." Hamura Mitokado agreed after a moment. "Yes. There's no need to choose the fifth Hokage. I believe the third Hokage's return is the best option for Konoha. Only the third Hokage can lead Konoha out of its current predicament and back on track." Following Koharu Uchiha and Hamura Mitokado, Danzo Shimura, the Hyuga clan head, and the heads of the Akimichi, Nara, and Yamanaka clans nodded in agreement. Chapter 46. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Alright. Seeing everyone agreed to him resuming his position as Hokage, Sarutobi, the third Hokage, knocked his pipe, puffed out a cloud of smoke, and said seriously, "Konoha has suffered greatly this time. I will do everything I can to lead the village out of this crisis and into a new era." Even though it wasn't his first time as Hokage, Sarutobi couldn't help but feel a surge of excitement. Sweet. It felt really good. The process didn't matter anymore. He was back in the Hokage seat. "Lord Third, now that most of Konoha needs rebuilding, and given the suspicions surrounding the Uchiha clan, I propose we relocate the Konoha garrison and the Uchiha clan to the west side of the village." Seeing Sarutobi back in charge, Danzo couldn't hide his jealousy. But he suppressed it and went straight after the Uchiha clan again. He pulled out a map, pointing to the western edge of Konoha and said meaningfully, "Damn it." Seeing the location on the map, Fugaku Uchiha almost choked. Danzo was pointing to the most remote part of Konoha. Relocating the Uchiha clan there would not only push them out of the village's heart but completely isolate them. This was completely unacceptable to the proud Uchiha. Fugaku had to stand up and argue with Danzo. Unfortunately, this time, he was facing not only Danzo but also Koharu Uchiha, Hamura Mitokado, the Hyuga clan leader, and others. It was easy for them to talk. They insisted the Uchiha should sacrifice their own interests for the good of the village, claiming that moving to the edge would actually benefit the Uchiha clan. Come on, everyone in that room wasn't stupid. They knew what was up. The Konoha elders were going to suppress the Uchiha clan again. The bottom line. Whether the Nine Tails attack was their fault or not, the Uchiha were taking the fall. The Hyuga clan leader and the leaders of the Inoshikacho clans were all eager to pile on. After all, the Uchiha had always been arrogant, rubbing many the wrong way. In the end, two fists can't beat a crowd. Facing the combined opposition of the Konoha elders and the major clans, Fugaku, as clan leader, couldn't stand alone. He was forced to reluctantly agree. "Alright, Fugaku, don't worry. The Uchiha clan will be compensated fairly. Seeing Fugaku's reluctant agreement, the third Hokage finally smiled. What else could he say? The founding clans of Konoha were too powerful. The Senju clan had been all but wiped out. Now, using the Ninetales attack to weaken the Uchiha clan also served the interests of the Konoha elders. Okay, if that's all, I'll be going. Fugaku smiled bitterly, glanced around the room, shook his head wearily, and walked out without looking back. Fugaku never expected that even after the Ninetales attack, Konoha would still be so focused on weakening the Uchiha clan. Did suppressing the Uchiha really make Konoha stronger? The whole thing made him question the second Hokage's policies for the first time in his life. Let's continue. After Fugaku left, Sarutobi took a puff of his pipe and said slowly, after the Ninetales attack, Konoha's economy needs to recover quickly. The assets left behind by the Uchiha clan should be divided fairly. Let's discuss the redistribution of the core areas of Konoha. That afternoon, Konoha's leadership announced two pieces of news. They were like a shot in the arm for a village reeling from the Ninetales attack. First, Sarutobi, the student of the first and second Hokage, the professor of ninjutsu, was forced to retake the Hokage seat for the sake of Konoha's future. Second, the Uchiha clan had voluntarily agreed to relocate from the heart of the village, sacrificing their own interests to support the development of Konoha and its plans. Buzz. The news sent a shockwave through Konoha. The village, still struggling with grief, felt a surge of hope with Sarutobi back as Hokage. And for the major clans, the Uchiha's continued suppression and exclusion by Konoha's leadership gave them room to grow. The Uchiha's relocation was just icing on the cake. Absolutely. After the announcements, Sarutobi sent word to Tsunade and Jiraiya, who were traveling, in case of trouble. In this way, the situation in Konoha gradually stabilized and started to get back on track. P.S. Tips? Collections? Flowers and reviews? Thank you. Chapter 47. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The Uchiha clan, after learning they were being relocated to the edge of Konoha, the Uchiha clan erupted in anger. A few radical ninja even started pushing for outright rebellion. They felt, if Konoha isn't going to treat us right, why should we be loyal? But then, at a crucial moment, Shursui of the Uchiha, known as the clan's strongest genjutsu user, stepped up. He did his best to reason with the clan leaders, promising he'd also try to talk things over with Konoha's leadership. Fugaku, still holding on to some hope in Shursui, reluctantly ordered the clan's relocation. The Konoha garrison and the entire Uchiha clan moved to the area designated by the village elders, and so, with the Uchiha clan relocated, the final loose ends from the Ninetales attack began to be tied up. Meanwhile, in the land of rain, a country perpetually shrouded in rainfall. Phew! In a dark, damp cave, a sigh of relief echoed. Obito Uchiha stretched his limbs and muttered, finally healed up. Mizuto really packs a punch. The fourth Hokage, Minato Namikaze, is dead, along with the Ninetales Jinchuriki, Kushina. Hearing this, a black and white figure emerged from the ground. Black Zetsu said flatly, the new Ninetales Jinchuriki is Minato Namikaze's son, Naruto Uzumaki. Dead? The masked Obito frowned. Yep, Zetsu confirmed, his voice raspy. Actually, someone as strong as the fourth Hokage could have survived, but he chose to go down with her. Have you figured out who that masked guy with the swirling eyes is? A thought struck Obito, his expression turning serious. He's incredibly powerful. It bugs me that we don't know who he is. Still looking into it. The Akatsuki are also on the case. Zetsu replied with unusual concern. The fact that someone like that can hide in the ninja world just shows how bad my intel has been. I have a feeling, Obito began, that he's hiding in Konoha. That's impossible. White Zetsu said, sounding annoyed. My clone's in Konoha. I haven't sensed anything like that from anyone. Maybe he's just really good at hiding it. Obito countered. Come on, Obito, are you questioning me? White Zetsu said mockingly, you went off script with the Ninetales attack. You know that messing with Konoha like that isn't exactly helping our plan. You owe us an explanation. Humph. Obito scoffed, not bothering to explain himself. That was just how White Zetsu was. He even sniped at Madara Uchiha. Explaining anything was pointless. Alright, let's focus on the plan. Hei Zetsu took a deep breath and said, Konoha's been badly weakened by the attack. We can start focusing on Akatsuki. As he spoke, a flicker of resentment crossed his black eyes. He knew that if the masked guy with the swirling eyes was an Otsutsuki, his plan to revive his mother was going to be affected. For now, he'd have to take things one step at a time. You guys head to Akatsuki first. I think I'll go stir things up in the hidden mist village. With a flicker of space-time ninjutsu, Obito Uchiha vanished from the cave. Guess we're heading to Akatsuki. After Obito's departure, Heizetsu and White Zetsu sank into the ground and disappeared. Rain Village. At the top of a towering structure in the heart of the village, a figure in a black cloak emblazoned with red clouds stood silently. How's recruitment going? This was Pain. A black rod protruded from his nose, giving his face a puppet-like appearance. Going well, Conan, with her light blue-purple hair and pale orange eyes, replied. Everything's going according to plan. That was right. These two were the leaders of Akatsuki, Nagato and Conan. And this Tendo Pain was a puppet, made from the corpse of Yahiko. Good, Xiao Nan said. Konoha had a Ninetales attack. The fourth Hokage and his wife are dead. Konoha. Pain's tone was dismissive. Has Orochimaru made a move yet? He has. Xiao Nan answered. He's agreed to join Akatsuki. He will betray Konoha soon and join the Wind Demon clan for a short time before coming to us. Good, Tendo Pain said nodding. Nagato, are we really going through with this? A flicker of pain crossed Xiao Nan's eyes. Does Akatsuki really have to reform, change Yahiko's plan, and collect the tailed beasts? Yes, Tendo Pain hesitated for a moment before saying without a doubt, Yahiko's death proves that building a bridge to world peace through people-to-people communication isn't feasible. Only by letting the ninja world feel the pain first can peace be conceived in the cycle of suffering. Okay. Xiao Nan thought of Yahiko's tragic death, her eyes narrowed, and she laughed miserably with a painful face. As always, she had no real choice. She could only follow Nagato to the end. P.S. Thanks for tips. Collection. Flowers and Reviews. Chapter 48. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Time passed. About 2 weeks later, the ninja world remained surprisingly peaceful, seemingly untouched by the Ninetales attack on Konoha. In Konoha, with the Third Hokage's leadership and the Uchiha clan's relocation from the central district, the village was back on track, experiencing steady growth. Konoha Village, inside the Hokage building, Hokage's office, after dismissing the hidden shadow ninja. Only the Third Hokage, Hiruzen Sarutobi, and Shisui Uchiha remained. Well, Sarutobi took a drag from his pipe and asked gravely, has the Uchiha clan made any rash moves? Not at all. Seeing that the Third Hokage had summoned him privately, Shisui replied with a sense of duty, some within the Uchiha clan are unhappy with Konoha's leadership, but Fugaku, the clan head, has kept them in line. Good. Sarutobi nodded, pleased. Shisui, rest assured, Konoha's policies towards the Uchiha are for their own good. Sometimes, you have to grit your teeth and bear it, and know that there are better days ahead for everyone. Understood. Shisui said earnestly, only by setting aside their clan's self-interest can the Uchiha truly appreciate the greatness and warmth of the will of fire. Exactly, Sarutobi chuckled, it's fortunate the Uchiha have someone like you who understands what's right. Otherwise. He exhaled a puff of smoke, a relieved smile spreading across his face, like a proud father. Oh, right. Sarutobi frowned, as if recalling something. Has Uchiha Leonien caused any trouble? No, Shisui shrugged casually. Leonien is an exceptionally skilled ninja in his own right, but he keeps a low profile and doesn't get involved in clan politics. I see. Sarutobi dismissed the thought. Don't worry about him. Without training in chakra and ninjutsu, Uchiha Itachi's prime is past, despite his elite skills. He's not a concern anymore. Understood. Shisui nodded, then added, the clan head's eldest son, Itachi Uchiha, seems quite interested in the will of fire. Itachi Uchiha, that a flicker of interest sparked in Sarutobi's eyes. In a few days, I'll secretly bring Itachi to you. I trust you'll give him some guidance, Hokage-sama. Of course. Sarutobi was clearly pleased with Shisui. He picked up his pipe, took another puff, and steered the conversation towards a more serious topic. If things go south with the Uchiha clan, I authorize you to use Koto Amatsukami to control Fugaku. Understood. I know what I have to do. Shisui hesitated, then nodded resolutely. He understood the third Hokage's implication. If the Uchiha were to rebel, he would have to use his ultimate technique to control the clan head and prevent a war. If that's all, Hokage-sama, I'll take my leave. After a moment, Shisui bowed. Konoha is rebuilding, and I want to do my part. Very well. Sarutobi waved his hand. With a swish, Shisui vanished from the office. Clap, clap, star. After Shisui left, a hidden panel in the room slid open, revealing Danzo Shimura. Hiruzen, you wily old fox, Danzo said with a sinister grin. You're even more ruthless than me. We've suppressed the Uchiha so much that they can barely whisper a complaint. What a waste of those Sharingan eyes. Danzo, watch your mouth, Sarutobi retorted, exhaling a cloud of smoke. I'm not targeting the Uchiha for no reason. It's for the sake of Konoha's peace. You know that. Do I? Danzo sneered. That's what you said when you were dealing with the Senju clan, wasn't it? Get out, Sarutobi's eyes flashed. Any family that becomes too powerful can be a threat to the village. I'm simply taking precautions. All right. Danzo shrugged. You've already got Shisui Uchiha in your pocket. Itachi Uchiha should be mine. No. Sarutobi refused flatly. Itachi Uchiha belongs in the shadows. Hiruzen, don't push it. Danzo looked annoyed. Enough. You're dismissed. Sarutobi waved his hand, ending the conversation. Humph. Danzo glared and stormed out of the room. Just kidding, star. If you won't give him to me, I'll just have to take him myself, star. Since they're starting to exclude and marginalize the Uchiha, I'll just have to find a way to wipe them out completely. Surely that's acceptable, right? Star. Hiruzen Sarutobi, star. I'll do the things you want to do, but don't dare to, star. And I'm going to get my hands on that eye of Shisui's, star. Phew. After Danzo left, Sarutobi relit his pipe and took several long drags, his expression troubled. Chapter 49. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Konoha Village. After Sunset Red and Mao Yuxian finished their special training, Uchiha was bored and took them to see the rebuilt village. Sunset Red's dad, Sunset True Red, didn't die in the Ninetales attack, probably because she was stronger than in the original story. They strolled and chatted for a while. Soon, Uchiha Itachi walked Sunset Red and Moon Sunset home. Konoha's rebuilt, and Sarutobi's back as Hokage. Walking back to the Uchiha district, Uchiha Itachi looked at Konoha, slowly coming back to life, and muttered to himself, it's a shame nobody mentions the fourth Hokage, Bo-Fong Shuemen, anymore. It's been less than a month since the Ninetales attack. Ever since the third Hokage, Sarutobi, retook the Hokage seat, the fourth Hokage, Bo-Fong Shuemen, seemed to be a forbidden subject. Even regular people rarely brought him up. It was just like the hero White Fang. Even his suicide caused a lot of out of sight, out of mind. Uchiha Itachi sighed. What else could he say? The longer he lived in Konoha, the more he sensed the dark side of its politics. The Konoha Hokage political clan seemed to have inherited the will of fire between the second Hokage and Senjutsu, but they'd gone against the original intentions when Konoha was founded. For example, you might hear something like this: that guy's way too strong. He's a danger to the village, so we have to take him out. The ape flying sun / still has power. He kept walking until he reached a secluded clearing outside the Uchiha clan's district. Orochimaru, come out, bang. With a puff of white smoke, a little white snake in a distant tree transformed into a tall, gaunt man. Ryonyan-kun, you found me. Orochimaru flashed into existence in front of Uchiha Ryonyan, licked his lips, and said, I knew you were an elite shinobi of the Uchiha clan. I am. Uchiha Ryonyan narrowed his eyes and nodded calmly. I've been watching you for years, and I still can't figure out why you don't train your Sharingan. Orochimaru looked at Uchiha Ryonyan and sighed, the Uchiha clan's Sharingan is a talent that people envy. If you unlock the Mangekyo Sharingan, you'll reach heights most ninjas can only dream of in their lifetime. Orochimaru's snake eyes gleamed with envy. Heh. Uchiha shook his head, he couldn't tell Orochimaru that what he saw was just what he allowed others to see. His so-called physical skills were just to throw people off the trail. So, what do you want? Uchiha Ryonyan cut to the chase. Nothing, just. Whoosh. Without warning, Orochimaru opened his mouth and spat out a flying sword aimed at Uchiha Ryonyan's chest at lightning speed. How boring. Uchiha Ryonyan's domineering spirit allowed him to see the attack coming, and he punched forward, the air exploding from the force, the flying sword was blasted away. What a perfect body. Orochimaru's lips curled, looking at the exploded flying sword and exclaiming. Orochimaru, are you trying to die? Uchiha Ryonyan said coldly, I suggest you drop the idea of stealing my body, or you'll have a bad time. Ha ha ha. Orochimaru laughed and said, Ryonyan-kun, don't get me wrong. I just came to ask you to leave Konoha with me. You're sick. Uchiha was confused, he and Orochimaru barely knew each other. Now Orochimaru suddenly wanted to take him out of Konoha. It was ridiculous, plus, this wasn't some romantic getaway, and the thought of Orochimaru reincarnating as a woman, Uchiha shuddered. He wasn't into that. He had zero interest in Big Snake Heim. Lu Ninjuan, your physical skills are ridiculously strong. Orochimaru took a deep breath and said, come with me, and I'll study your Sharingan. I'll even transplant cells from Hashirama Senju to help you awaken the Mangekyo Sharingan. Then your strength will skyrocket. Orochimaru added, the Uchiha clan is being suppressed by Konoha's leaders. If you stay, you'll end up on their blacklist. Shimura Danzo's obsessed with the Uchiha's Sharingan. So, let's get out of this village. Oh, Uchiha Ryu shook his head, smiling at the overexcited Orochimaru. Sorry, I'm not interested. I don't want to leave Konoha. You. This time, Orochimaru was confused, before coming, he'd studied Uchiha for a long time, Konoha was keeping a close eye on him, he had a feeling that Lord Ape was going to turn on him, most likely because he didn't act during the Ninetales attack, and Ape Fei Ri was now settling the score, that's why he tried to recruit Uchiha Ryonyan, the clan's alternative figure, but he was turned down flat. It was a slap in the face for the proud Orochimaru. Well, Uchiha said, I'm going back to the Uchiha district. Alas, Orochimaru hesitated before sighing. You're thinking too small. You'll regret this. Don't worry, I won't. Uchiha shrugged and walked away without looking back, if he didn't have a system, he might have joined Orochimaru to pursue more power. After all, Orochimaru might be the only one in the ninja world whose views aligned with those of modern people. Whatever. Watching Uchiha Ryonyan leave, Orochimaru looked regretful, he thought Uchiha Flowing Year was a good opportunity to grow stronger. A few days later, a big thing happened in Konoha. Orochimaru, one of the 3 legendary Sannin, defected after his human experiments were exposed. Because of this, Jiraiya, another of the Sannin who had just returned, also left Konoha. He said he was going to find Orochimaru and bring him back, so, after the death of the 4th Hokage, Wave Fong Mizumon, Jiraiya and Orochimaru left Konoha, and Tsunade never came back. Konoha's Sannin era had come to an end. Chapter 50. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Time sure flies, 7 years have zipped by in what feels like the blink of an eye, that makes it Konoha year 55, 7 years isn't a long time, but a ton has happened in a ninja world. Take, for example, the situation after Orochimaru went rogue and Jiraiya left Konoha. Things got tense, and the conflicts between the land of fire and the land of wind, the land of lightning, and the land of earth along the borders escalated. As for the land of water, the hidden mist village's blood mist policy kept them from turning against the land of fire. Plus, there's this mysterious organization popping up, specializing in high-bounty missions. They've caught some serious attention after nailing a string of these gigs, and probably the biggest thing, in Konoha year 53, the Hidden Cloud Village signed a peace treaty with Konoha. The land of lightning sent an envoy to the land of fire for negotiations, but their real aim was to snag the Byakugan, the Hyuga clan's prized bloodline limit. Ultimately, Hinata was kidnapped. To stop the Hidden Cloud Village ninja leader, Hinata killed him, to smooth things over with the Hidden Cloud Village. The third Hokage, Sarutobi, played to his ninja strengths. He couldn't stand the thought of it, but he had to suck it up and let Hyuga Hayashi take the blame and commit seppuku to appease the Hidden Cloud Village. That really put the Hyuga clan under the microscope, and they've been suppressed ever since. Speaking of which, Uchiha Reunion is stoked. Why? Because this is his 10th year using Konoha Village as his permanent check-in spot. Next year, he can finally reset it, and he won't be stuck with just a dinky place like Konoha. Thing is, when he set up the permanent check-in, the system said he had to wait 10 years before changing it, so now, the 10th year is here, and to quote a classic line, my 3-year sentence is up, and the Dragon King has returned. He's done waiting. Konoha Village. In the Uchiha district, the Uchiha clan seems weaker and weaker compared to 7 years ago, especially since the Konoha military police force got moved to the edge of town. Now, the Konoha military police force are basically Konoha's version of the city cops, and everyone, from other factions to most civilians, gives them the side-eye. Couple that with the covert scheming between the higher-ups en route, and the Uchiha clan is feeling the squeeze. The tension between Konoha Village and the Uchiha clan is like a powder keg. Everything seems calm on the surface, but things are brewing underneath. As for Uchiha Reunion, he's still signing in silently and getting stronger. Besides training Kurenai and Yugao, he spends his time clearing out the strays in the empty areas. After 7 years of signing in, Uchiha Reunion has shot up to 6 feet 4 inches. He's tall, built, and radiates masculine energy. System, sign in at the Uchiha district. Just then, in a courtyard, Uchiha Reunion, fresh from training, said in a low voice, ding. Check-in successful. Congratulations, host, for obtaining a Senzu Bean and 0.01% experience. Ding. Congratulations, host, because Whitebeard's template has been unlocked and fused 99.99%, plus the current 0.01%, Whitebeard's template has been successfully unlocked to 100%. Ding. Congratulations, host, for successfully fusing the full power of Whitebeard at his peak. Whoa. Hearing the system's voice, Uchiha Reunion opened his eyes, buzzing with excitement. Finally. Seriously, finally. 7 years of signing in, and the system gave him less and less experience as time went on, down to a measly 0.01%, but now, he's finally unlocked Whitebeard's template. On top of that, over the past 7 years, Uchiha Reunion has learned a ton of ninjutsu through check-ins. No joke. Even someone who claims to know every jutsu in Konoha and calls themselves the ninjutsu professor probably doesn't know as much as Reunion does. And there's more. Uchiha Reunion has also managed to evolve his Sharingan into the Mangekyo Sharingan. He checked in at the system's refresh location and got a 3-tomo Sharingan evolution card. Basically, the host doesn't need to go through some emotionally scarring event, like watching a loved one die, to trigger a special chakra, so, Uchiha used it right away. Evolving from the 3-tomo Sharingan to the Mangekyo Sharingan was a breeze. However, the Magatama pattern is similar to the 6-Path Sage's Mangekyo Sharingan, just a simple 3-tomo shape, making it look kinda plain. As for its abilities, the left eye accelerates time, and the right eye rewinds it. When he first started figuring out his Mangekyo Sharingan powers, Uchiha Reunion was scratching his head. He couldn't wrap his mind around how his Mangekyo Sharingan ended up with time-related abilities. You see, Mangekyo Sharingan abilities tend to be consistent, they usually reflect the user's strengths. For example, Uchiha Shursui was a master of Genjutsu, so his Koto Amatsukami is the ultimate illusion. Uchiha Itachi excelled in Genjutsu and fire release, so he got Tsukuyomi and Amaterasu. Uchiha Sasuke was all about different ninjutsu formations, like his Chidori series, so he awakened blaze release. So what's going on here? Uchiha Reunion awakened the power of time. Still, after tinkering with his Mangekyo Sharingan a few times, Uchiha Reunion is really liking it. At the very least, time acceleration and rewind are really useful. The problem is that they're super draining, and the side effects are nasty, even with an immortal body. P.S. Hit that like button. Follow, leave flowers and reviews. It'll give me a boost. Thanks.